Welcome back to Footballing with Ben Roethlisberger. I am your host, Ben Roethlisberger. This is my boy Spence, and we are here to basically give y'all a fancy.
This one gonna be fancy.
It's gonna be a fancy episode. I'm just saying. You know us. We're fancy.
Too easy.
That's
That's what we do.
That's the thing. When people say, they always ask me, "What's Ben like?" I'm like,
He's so fancy.
He's
fancy.
That brother fancy.
I am so excited to introduce our dear friend, friend of the show, friend of mine, friend of the Lord, Walker Hayes.
What's up? Hey guys. Dude, thank y'all
you for
for
joining
having
us,
me.
brother.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Having
Happy
you
to be
clapping
here.
over there?
That was
It
yeah,
was.
That's right. Thanks,
You
Evan.
did the thing.
Get it from the kitchen.
Let's go.
We are super excited to have you on the show.
Vice versa.
We have only known each other a little over a year.
Yeah.
We met in this. You remember?
Met at
we met here.
Bart's birthday party. Yeah.
Bart's 50th birthday party in this studio. Started talking ball a little bit. Told you I was a big fan. I think at the time it might have been Craig, the song.
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
Bart sang on Craig, which I want to talk about that song because I think it's an amazing song. Since then, I have read the book that you and Craig wrote together. Welcome home.
Glad you're here.
Glad you're here.
Yeah. You're
Great
you're
book.
close. Yeah.
I'm getting close. I screwed up.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
It
Welcome to the
took
show.
me a minute. I did,
We just learned to read like yesterday.
And I actually listened to an audiobook, to be honest, which is cool because y'all did it together. Or you guys
we
did your
did.
parts.
To make you feel better, that was the only time I actually read the book was to do the audio part. No offense to Craig, but I didn't even read his part. Like
You did your
I
part?
read it as we were writing it,
I've
but
done more of the book than you.
you have actually you've actually read more.
There you go.
Well, we are excited to have you on the show because I want to talk a little bit of ball with you because I know you're a sports nut.
Love sports.
Football.
Yeah, I love it all.
Football nut. And I realized too, which I want to start this thing off. Well, actually, I'm going to start it off with we always do beers on the show.
Okay.
And I feel like the only appropriate way to do this show with you is with a beer
I saw that.
that I'm going to hand over to my friend Spence.
You might have the last one on earth or the last two.
This is...
Have you actually tasted it yet?
I have not.
I have had this.
I think you should take a sip right now.
We are. Oh, we are.
Okay, good.
So
This is the Athletic Brewing Company.
a big fan of them because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the non-alcoholic options.
Yeah.
And I saw this. I think I picked this up and brought it to your house. I'm like, hey man, do you know Walker has a beer? Like, I love this.
So we're excited. So this is the classic American Pale Walker Hayes fancy like non-alcoholic brew.
Yeah.
And so this is only fitting for this show that we do this.
Do you want me to tell you a little bit about this is kind of fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Once you, I'm going to say this lightly because I still don't know like what to call myself. We're new to this whole like celebrity thing or whatever. Oh. But when I know, it's good.
It's really good. That's
crazy.
like
so
really
like
good.
you, huge
Really good.
fan.
Yeah.
And didn't really do the NAs because a lot of them were bad. And I honestly steered away from theirs because they did like real crafty, like IPA and stuff. And I'm just not that guy. But I tasted theirs. The Golden Dawn is one of theirs.
The Kolsch?
I became obsessed.
Yes.
And then I just started posting about them I just was like, I love this brand. Then we connected on Instagram and I was like, man, I love this, everything about what y'all do. And asked to collab. And they did not just have a normal pale, like just a guy, they had the light, which was a little bit watery. And then they had those fancier ones. And I was like, man, let's just make like a Budweiser, like just your normal beer. And I think it's absolutely the most delicious NA ever.
I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever had a non-alcoholic beer before in my life that I can think of. I'm not saying I don't know, like I know do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's delightful. That is
so
really,
good.
really good.
I know.
I've not had an athletic one that wasn't delicious. And I love that option. I remember we went to Columbus, the Brewdog has a bunch of alcohol-free options. And it was the first kind of like introduction I had to them. I'm like, that's interesting. You have a lot of these, and they're like, it's blowing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what? I love the fact that you can get that there are breweries giving options to people that want to kick it, want to be part of the social thing.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, maybe I don't drink for any reason, or like, hey, I got something to do tomorrow. I'm a dad. I can't just be sitting here, like
Bart has there's like a 6-pack in Bart's fridge. That's where we got this, and I'm gonna take the rest of them.
Yeah,
because my boy Chuck will. He drinks
non-alcoholic.
Chuck would love that.
So Athletic, what's up?
Let's go.
Keep sending them our way. But no, that's awesome.
They crushed.
So that's the way it started.
They did a great job.
But where I was going to go with this,
Yeah.
I want to ask a question.
Bring it.
You're from Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So do they still play the GMAC Bowl there?
I don't know.
You know?
It was at Ladd Stadium when I grew up, but that was 100 years ago.
Okay,
Did
but
you
you're
play
only
there?
Yes. So is there any chance
Like the Senior Bowl?
no, not the GMAC Bowl.
Yeah.
It would have been 2004. Where were you in 2000? Well, 2003, 4.
2004, I was engaged in 03 and then moved here. I mean, I was in Mobile, but I probably wasn't at the GMAC Bowl.
I was
but
thinking,
you were
what's
there.
the chance that he was at that game? Because it can't be allowed to. There's not allowed to do in Mobile.
Not a lot. It's all right.
But we played in that bowl game.
Yeah.
We played Louisville, and that was my last college game.
That's
Yes,
you
because I went
finished
there,
in Mobile.
Because I left early.
How'd you do? Did you do good? Did you do good?
I came out in I think early fourth quarter because we were dominating.
You were spanking them.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was one of those games where it was like.
Was it at Ladd Stadium?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was at. Yes, it was 100% there.
Crazy.
And we were there, and it was like, because I remember I talked to my coach going into that game because it was like, do I talk like, do I leave a year early? Do I stay?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I accomplished kind of everything that I'd set out to do, player of the year in the MAC, and won the MAC, and this, that, and the other. And it was like, man, I'm gonna go play in this bowl game. It's like, coach, if I do well, sat down with my parents, my coach, his wife. If we do well, then maybe we'll figure it out. And so he pulled me out. I think it was end of the third or fourth quarter because it was just like everything was going right. And it was like I made the announcement in the stadium, like in the locker room in front of the media afterwards that I was leaving.
You were going.
Yep, that was my last college football game.
So what
like,
year
Mobile.
were you? You were a junior?
I was a junior. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
like a red
crazy.
shirt. Yeah.
And so were you really there 4 years?
I was there. Yeah. So I red shirted and then played for 3. And then left like halfway.
So you were a
through
starter 3 years. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Yep.
Dude, what a small world. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, that was kind of
a big. It would have been cool if you would have been like, wait, I think I was at
that. Fun. No, we would go because we would get some cool teams come down there, and the Senior Bowl was always a big deal when that was a thing.
But they moved that, right?
It's not. I don't think it's there anymore. But Senior Bowl. Players would come and maybe practice at a high school, so you could go get their autographs and stuff.
Yeah, we would have. I don't remember where we practiced, but we were down there for you go down there for a week or whatever.
Go chill, yeah.
But the crazy thing is nowadays. See, we finished 10th in the country that year. We were that. We lost the first game of the year and then ran everybody out of the building. And so nowadays that would have got us in that.
You would have been in the playoff.
Yeah, would have been in the
crazy.
Thing. So,
who'd you lose to? Who was your first?
Iowa, first game of the year at Iowa. Through 4 interceptions.
You threw.
I'll tell you. I probably told this story on here. Yeah, I've told this story, which we'll talk about that too. Yeah. I told this story on this show before, but going into my would have been last year, I remember I started talking to agents and stuff, and the guy Ryan Tollner, who ended up being my agent, was one that I kind of connected with.
Yeah,
and I was kind of talking to him he's like, you have a real chance to leave after this year, and guys are talking about that. I said, well, tell me what do I need? What do I have to accomplish for that to be a reality to leave early? And he's basically like, well. Winning is most of your games is a big deal because they want winners. And he goes, you probably need like a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah.
Right? So for every 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's kind of like what they're looking for. So we go out. You all right? Mom, Milo.
You just want attention.
So I go out in the first game, and it was either 3 or 4 picks. It wasn't good. It was at least 3, maybe 4, with the 1 interception. So I remember after the game, he was at the game, and I saw him, and I'm like, well, guess I'm not going anywhere. I was the wrong direction. 3, 4,
great,
1.
Though. I mean,
but then we ended up
you turn it around. Yeah, and then you left that year. I ended up. I don't know my ratio. I ended up getting It's
3
crazy
to 4
how things can change. That's amazing.
So,
but that's wild that you, of all the places, Mobile, Alabama. That's crazy.
He's from there. I gotta ask.
Yeah,
because from being there, that makes you a Roll Tide, right?
Not necessarily. No? I mean, it's divided. I mean, it's
Auburn,
Alabama. As a matter of fact, my house, my mom was a Bama fan. 3 of my brothers went to Bama, and then my dad was an Auburn fan.
Ooh,
yeah.
Did that create division?
Yeah,
in the house?
my dad and I didn't get along, and honestly, I kind of, in retrospect, I'm like, I'm probably a Bama fan because I just was like, screw you, Dad, and but as I grew older and my father and I mended a lot of our relationship, praise the Lord, that was like it was like a bet, every year. And I watched many.
Became more fun.
Oh yeah, I watched many Iron Bowls with him. But yeah, I mean, growing up, there was some mean words traded, awesome. When Bama had some tough years. But yeah, dude, it's serious. I mean, it's serious.
Because I've learned from people from, especially Alabama.
Yeah.
More, I think Alabama, maybe Mississippi is there's no, they don't care. There's no pro team. We don't follow the pros because Alabama or Auburn is our pro team. Right. Like that's what it is. Because did you have a pro team or it was?
No, and that's the thing. I feel like we're if you meet a Bama fan or you meet a guy from Alabama, you're like, I get it, bro. Like, shut up about it. Especially if you're from Mobile, the first thing I say is, hey, did you know Mardi Gras was invented there? And I just want you to know so bad that we have that. We have Jimmy Buffett, we have Hank Aaron, and we have Alabama Auburn, which I can't really explain to people, but you just touched on it. It was like Saints, whatever. Mm-hmm. Pro basketball, dude, we didn't have the Pelicans then. Yeah. Atlanta was awesome. Braves for sure. Yeah. Like you cared about that, but they were like the Cowboys, it was like just America's team. And so it's serious. I mean, it's so serious. Like down there, there's bakeries making a killing off Bama Auburn cookies. I mean, it's just the.
I've never been down there for I would try some of those.
I remember some of the worst fights behind the gym, at my prep school. Were like, hey, I'll see you outside because it started with some trash,
So high schools were split like that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a group text, and one of our buddies named Robert. I mean, he's like the only Auburn fan, but bro, I mean, we'll start. He'll say something, especially right now because we're basketball schools now. Yeah, and so it's even violent now.
Auburn's ranked. They're number one, aren't they?
Dude, they're number one, and Bama's 4. And
are you allowed? This again, forgive me. Can you be an Alabama football fan but an Auburn, or you got to go on with it?
No.
That's like sacred. You can't do that.
I will say, I finished. I did some like postgraduate stuff at UNC. Okay. So and it was because I loved basketball. So I've always been like Bama football, but Tar Heel basketball. Okay. But right now, Bama's good. When Bama's good, I'm like, let's go. Oh, I know. For a while. They've been struggling. As a matter of fact, this is crazy, but we just got the gym in our house, basketball court. And last year, when UNC played Bama in the tournament, whoever won, we were going to paint the gym that color. Ended up, Bama, I can't remember who won. Actually, Bama won. We painted the gym crimson. So, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Till heels were out.
Yeah.
Bama lost.
So what do you, I'll chuck this up to both of you guys. Yeah. What do you guys think about Belichick going to UNC then?
Oh, it's amazing.
You like them?
I don't always know about, you would know more about that transition, but good, bad?
I don't know. It blew my mind when it happened.
Right.
I feel like there's something, there's something to, there's a reason.
Sure.
And I wonder if it's not
beyond the paycheck.
Beyond the paycheck. And I could be completely wrong, but I wonder if it isn't because he's going to go there for a couple years and then turn it over to his son. Right, his son's in the coaching, and he's and it's
you think he's out here playing chess? Well, he's Belichick, so
he can do whatever he wants.
He's a great coach.
Homie's got the record.
Yeah. He didn't even fitting against in the NFL and you're telling me he's gonna go sit in parents' houses and try and recruit kids?
I would love
that's a Tomlin
be pretty
thing.
Sick though.
I would love this. I would love just to sit in one of those meetings, fly on the wall, Belichick trying to recruit. I just walk in. It's me. I don't know if
I'm me.
I don't know if you've watched football in the last 10 years. But
I saw you on the Tiki-Taka.
The Tiki-Taka. My girlfriend showed me this app.
There you go. Well, that's interesting.
Saban had to be like that too, right? Like you go recruit people. It's like, I'm Nick Saban.
Yeah,
well, you guys want to come to Bama?
He went to the league, but he went to
pro.
He went to the league.
I'm saying recruiting.
And went out.
Recruiting. He probably just went into high school. Like, hey guys, I'm Nick Saban.
And I assume some of those guys too, they get to the point where they don't actually do it unless it's like a big dog. They have guys that do all the stuff. There's no way that Belichick or even Saban went to every single kid they're trying to recruit.
They would probably go to the on the fence. If you really want this dude, you got to go to that house.
You got to be a 5. He's not going to a 4-star.
No.
They fight the coach of the other team. Like him and Ryan Day are having an arm wrestling competition. You know what I mean?
I also feel like Saban was very just like, I stop here though. Like you either want to be here
or you
for
don't.
The way we do things, or you don't, and I'm okay with it.
I feel like that's probably a healthy way to recruit a team, right?
The title.
Totally.
If you don't want to be here,
but I feel like Belichick will like. I mean, has he ever done college in the past? Like on the way up, like was that a?
I don't know that.
What he Browns, right? Or Giants? He won one with the Giants.
I mean, he's been in the league. I don't know that he's ever been in college. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think where he started. I don't know.
I feel like he might enjoy it. Like you might just, I feel like there's more development as men.
Sure.
At that age, I don't know. The NIL changed everything.
Changed everything. Like that's why I thought forever Tomlin would be amazing.
Yeah,
Tomlin's he could go sit on someone's couch and he'd win mom over. He'd win dad over. He's going to win brother, sister. Everybody's going to be over because he loves to talk. Right. He loves to do his thing. That would be right up.
Tomlin could convince me to go back to school. I can't read, so you know what I mean. I'm like, yes, sir. Let's go, coach.
Right up his alley. Yeah. Right up his alley. I would love to. Parlay this talk of Alabama-Auburn into 7's top 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So 7's top 7 for those of you tuning in for the first time because you're a Walker Hayes fan and you're welcome to footballing.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, it's welcome to the family.
Come on.
We do a 7's top 7 every week and we figure out some fun, cool a list of 7 things to talk about.
Let's go.
And today, because I knew you're a big Alabama fan.
Yeah,
you can use your cheat sheet. That's fine.
Come
on. We're going to talk about the top 7 rivalries in college football.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking basketball, college sports, college football.
Right.
Big football guy. I know you are a basketball guy.
Yeah.
But we're going to do football. Okay?
I'm a everything. I mean, I like
big
it all.
Big sports guy. We're going to talk about that. But we're going to start. I'm going to give you my number 7 pick.
Go.
And then you can agree, disagree.
Okay.
Whatever you feel. And then I want to hear your number 7. Okay.
Okay.
My number 7 is Florida, Georgia.
It's up there. I'm surprised that's all the way down to 7. I'm like, who you got left?
I got some good ones in there.
We'll tease that one out. Why is that at 7? Because you had a good explanation with Florida, Georgia, because in recent history.
Yeah. Here's the thing, too, is you can't – I'm not going to go with – like how they are recently, right? You can't go with like the rivalry because someone might be terrible. It's just the tradition.
A lot of those rivalries are a little bit soft right now.
Yes. For sure. So, but I'm trying to think like when I was either in school or if I was in, elementary, middle, growing up.
Yeah.
So that Florida, Georgia, I mean, I got a place down in Georgia. You hear about it, you know, and so that one just, I think is a big one. I've played with the Pouncey brother, with Marquise, and I know the Pouncey brothers that obviously went to Florida, and I hear the hate for Georgia. I got Georgia buddies that hate Florida. So that's why I went there. I get it's low on the list, but that's where it is.
Okay. I have 2 rivalries that I would flip-flop there that you'll probably laugh at, but like I always watch them. I never know one player or anything, but the Army-Navy rivalry. It's always on. It's always on my TV.
Don't disagree.
I'm gonna watch it. I have no idea what either. I could not tell you anything about either school, but I'm always like, who won the Army Navy game?
I think that's evidence of a great rivalry. You don't need to have stud players.
Right.
Yep. No, that's
I got that one. It's fun. I'm always going to watch it.
So it's on. So I want to talk about it because it's on my list.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
It's just way up.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's
way up.
Okay. Is it the American factor? Like the.
Yeah. So do I just tell them what it is or do I have to wait?
You can't. No.
Hey,
there's no
your
rules,
show,
bro.
Yeah. Come on, man.
It's my number 2.
I like 2. Wow.
It's my number 2 because of exactly what you said.
Okay.
No one. I've known one Army player, and it's Al Villanueva, who blocked for me.
Yeah. That's why you knew him.
But it's you're right. It's the pageantry, it's the anthems, it's the cadets, the saluting, the 5-star generals. Are they 5 stars or 4 stars? How many stars there are?
Everything, yeah.
All that is just
a lot of tradition.
Yes. You could play that game on a high school field and it's going to feel right.
I know. And it's not like
it
is a lot like it's like the biggest high school game ever that you would watch.
And it would probably be number 1 if there was if it was like a game like that was like my number 1 I feel is a good one, but if it was like good football, and I'm not saying it's not good football, but it just you're not going to know a lot of the guys, but so I'm with you. Yeah, that's my number 2.
That's cool.
So
I'm glad. Honestly, I feel smart that
nailed it.
We got one. That was both on there. What's your this next one?
My number 6 is one that you probably would never even think of, but it's close to Homer. It's Pitt, West Virginia. It's a backyard brawl. It's huge in our area, so that's why it's on there. And it will be on most people's list. But the listeners that are at home are going to be like, yeah, they probably want to hire, but it is what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna. That was my number 6.
Yeah,
I think again, the higher we get, it becomes harder for me to like flip flop. But this is one I'm going to put on there. Glad it's back. Is Texas A&M.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was like one of the coolest games before one was in the SEC, and then now they're
all
both.
the new conference stuff makes it terrible, but you just got to trust what it is.
Just
right?
hang.
I know,
but it's back, and I think again I could probably put that higher. I've been to some A&M games, and man, it's kind of like like the Army Navy thing. Like they do, like the whole place knows so many cheer, that they do together, and they go, with
that's
the towel.
Are they the 12th man there? It's like same as Seattle, but
it's
like,
crazy.
Yeah.
So I have that one as number 6 for now.
List, but that's good.
Yeah.
My number 5 is going to be Notre Dame USC.
That's in it. Yeah.
And Evan's a big Notre Dame guy, like huge Notre Dame guy. The problem is that SC has dominated it so much. So it's not really much. It's lost its rivalry status.
I haven't seen
Not for you.
It doesn't matter anymore.
And you don't. I think the interesting thing about that rivalry compared to most of them is they're so far.
Yeah.
Like most of the rivalries,
coast to coast.
It's interstate.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How long? I wonder why.
So that's a big one.
I wonder what the history.
They're not even. They've never even been in the. They've never.
Yeah, Evan. Why do you don't know? You've just been from birth. You hated USC, huh?
Why do you hate the Trojans?
Because
too many to list.
Too many to list.
I hope I don't miss one as I'm running down this list. But I will say, so we're on 5.
Yes,
and that's what. Okay, and you went with that. I'm gonna go another holiday game that we never miss.
Okay,
is the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. TV's always on. We always watch.
Yeah.
It's close to home. Again, I could probably, flip the ones as we're narrowing down the list. I didn't have them in order, but yeah, I think that's a fun game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, any of these ones that have a
any
name
of these
like the
in-state, again, like you said, that's cool about Notre Dame and them being so far apart. But there's down south, there's just a lot of in-state
stuff. I get it, and that's why there's that house hate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
House divided, huh?
My number 4 is Oklahoma, Texas. What's that?
okay.
The Red River. I think it's the Red River rivalry or something like that. I think my sister went to Oklahoma. A lot of these I think are bigger than just football. I assume there's just general hate, and I know that one goes through all sports. Oklahoma, Texas.
I'm going with you on that. I think we tie.
Okay.
Right
number
there.
4.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're
Texas.
so good.
Come on.
Look at you guys.
We met up.
My next one again is an interstate, and I think for me it was a big deal because I grew up a Florida State fan.
Okay.
So I'm Florida State. Again,
Okay.
it has lost its luster, but you're talking like the 90s, 2000s, when you were like Danny Warfel and Charlie Ward and Warwick Dunn and all those guys, like that was a fun.
Man, now that you're
game.
naming these, there are so many good rivalries. So we're on. That was your
That's
4.
3. That's 3.
Our 3. Okay. Well, I can't. Okay, I have 2 and 1 locked in, no brainer.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna put Florida Georgia at 3. You had them at 7. To me, that's another big, just massive SEC.
Mm-hmm.
You don't miss that game. No,
that's
a big deal.
And if we were going more recent history, I'd flip flop those two.
Crazy.
Those teams.
Okay.
But I just go on old. And I said number 2, Army Navy. That's.
Oh, there you go.
I agree with you there.
So where was? I mean, you didn't have like. This is an argument I've gotten with on planes so many times. Is does the Ohio State Michigan game like? I just didn't grow up anywhere. Like
I don't know.
That's number 2.
We haven't finished our list. That's your number 2?
Number 2. Yeah.
Okay.
For me,
that's my number 1.
Okay.
Now, obviously, being from Ohio,
well, you're close. Yeah.
I mean, part of it is that, but I just think that's. I mean, when you see, like, I have a buddy, Brian and Jason, who are both Ohio State fans, and I don't like Ohio State.
Yeah.
And so I love that Michigan's dominated them.
Yeah.
But with the fact that during that week when they text us in a group chat, they don't even put the M.
Yeah.
Like
it's exhausting.
It's
really.
exhausting. To text someone and never put
they literally leave them out.
They leave the M
out.
out.
The whole thing, dude.
And the whole campus, the whole Ohio State campus crosses out every M on the whole.
Yeah.
Like,
Seems like for an educational institution, you don't want to use all the letters you have access to.
I get it.
I just think that's one that and again, it could be a north-south thing, whatever. So,
well, I'm dying to go to one. And that was kind of my experience with visiting A&M. Did you know that in College Station, it's the only Home Depot that's not orange? It's like they're maroon-ish color. Yeah, like the Home Depot logo isn't allowed to be like that Texas orange. Yeah. I know. I thought that was crazy, but I'm like, man, college football, like that's why it's amazing.
College football's crazy.
But I've always wanted to go to a Michigan, Ohio State game, and honestly, I hate both of them. I mean, I don't like any of my Ohio State fans. I mean, they're always going for Bama. And the Michigan, dude, 2 years in a row.
It's like Evan watching the Super Bowl this year.
We lost to Michigan in both seasons this past 2 years. But yeah, Bama Auburn is, I mean, it's just all that matters. You know, that's
that didn't even make my list.
Oh, come on, bro.
Did you not even think to do that? You knew.
I put it for my honorable mention.
There's just two teams down south, and no one.
You're like it's like South Alabama and Samford.
No, I did on purpose. Yeah, Alabama Auburn definitely would be on there somewhere.
Huge.
But
Yeah.
Is that the Iron Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, they call that one, right?
Shut up, dude. Shut up. Here's the thing, though. I always wonder, like, you know, because I'll be out like writing with people in Cali or something, you know, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know Bama had a game," and I'm like, "That's so weird. It's just so weird."
I know it does like that.
I will say, having met a lot of people from Alabama, being from Florida, it is a religion in your state. It's crazy. To the rest of us, it feels like the Michigan, Ohio. You're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of it."
Didn't y'all go kill one of their trees or something crazy?
Yeah, dude.
You guys kill trees
with
that's.
And listen, that dude had kids named like Allie and Bammy or something. And look. I mean, it's funny, but that dude poisoned the tree, you know, and you had the split. You had some people who were like, "Hurrah, he poisoned the tree," you know, and then you had people who were like, "Oh, we don't claim him."
At what point, as a diehard sports fan, you look at that and someone poisoning a tree and think, "We're doing too much, guys. I think we're doing too much."
Yeah.
I think we're doing too much. We're poisoning trees.
I mean, what are we doing?
Laney and I will go. We've been to some Auburn games, guys, since I've been a believer. And we've gotten stuck, like when they rush the field, you know, and you can't get out. You're like, I got to get to my car. I'm so sick of this game. You know, you're just so bummed, and we've just been like, Lord, please help our attitude. Like I hate my family. I hate my brother-in-law. I don't want to see his face. Like, and I'm like, man. I'm an old man, like I am. I'm like, Jesus, this is gross, man. This is really is exposing. You know, one day I'm gonna die and meet Jesus, and here I am at this game. You know, just and I'm not
remember
even
the
like,
Iron Bowl '96,
dude. It's crazy how even my wife, sweetest lady ever.
She's Bama.
Oh yeah, but she'll be like, my attitude is so bad right now. Like the things I'm thinking, you know, and she is like,
I want to go poison a tree.
She's the nicest person, dude. I mean, she is. She's like hands down the sweetest human. But man, we watched that game, you know, like last year, you know, when Milroe hit that 4th and 31, I'm telling you, man, that must be like, if that's what meeting Jesus feels like, I mean, it's going to be awesome. Because it was like,
compared to
you know, because we were
that's
like,
awesome.
we were so sad. You know, my whole house was like, God, it sucked. Because they were ruining our season.
Yeah.
And then they hit that, and it was jubilation. I mean, it felt so, and half of the good feeling is you just don't have to hear it. You know, I had some Auburn fans who were like, so well. Funny. You know, it was fun because we were ahead. And I was like, bro, who cares? I was like, it's win or lose. Like, you don't care.
That's so funny.
Your kids are all Bama then. They have a choice.
No, you know, honestly, I've gotten more into it since I had kids. Gotcha. You know, I think I went through a phase where high school, it really mattered. And then I got to work, like grinding and trying to do the thing. Mm-hmm. And then as our kids started watching with me, it's just been fun, man. They
So
dive in.
fascinating.
Yeah.
These college people. Like Jason, literally, what's the chance he just texted me too?
His ear's probably ringing. Like there's something in
Some
him.
Ohio
like,
State. Some Ohio State.
some guy, he heard
Ohio
you-
State.
Yeah.
Heard you say M.
Yeah, it's
He's like,
ridiculous.
Ben's talking.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
No, that's good. That's good. Thank you for participating
Yeah.
in the list. I
Love that.
appreciate that. I maybe next time Alabama Auburn make my list. I don't know.
It is kind of a crazy thing. The hate in college seems to be bigger than the hate in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like even
And
I'm
they're
talking,
kids.
right? That's
I mean,
what I
I
mean.
know they're kids playing a sport, and you feel so bad for them. Like, do people really feel bad for an NFL guy, like team? Like, say, obviously, I don't use Patrick Mahomes as an example because no one's feel bad for them because they've won. But if you get a team that loses a playoff game, right? Does anyone feel bad for that? Like, no, because he's a grown man. It's his job.
Yeah, you're at work.
But when a college kid does something, my heart breaks for him way different. And then you got
Crazy.
these fans that are just like, there's no wonder that some of these guys, these young men at college and even high school, if things don't go there, like they don't have a good game, they have a drop, they throw an interception, they miss a basket, whatever it is, and then they're so engrossed in social media, and all it takes is one person probably to tell them like, you stink, you don't play for our like, you can tear a person if those kids aren't. I think like it can happen to anybody. I don't want to say only people that are strong in their faith, it would be hard, but like if you don't have that or a strong like family or friends or people to uplift and support you, that would tear you down so fast to almost like an unrecoverable stage.
Oh yeah.
And it's easier than you think.
Oh, I
to
can
tear
imagine.
someone, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Because it's you talking about being strong in your faith, it wouldn't affect you. I think the win there is the wisdom. Like, hey man, best way not to get bit by a shark.
Don't go in the ocean.
Don't go in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
don't.
I would say
just feel
they
bad for
they
them.
have to not. At this point, if I was a coach, I would just be like, don't you
do
already
it.
have
Yeah.
you already have enough mental game to work with. Do not read that stuff because
help it,
people
though.
just. I mean, it's just like I said in Alabama, man, just it's attached to your joy, to some extent. So people, you throw 3 picks in 4. Milroe had a really rough last game,
Right.
and I mean the comments section, you're
I
just
can
like,
imagine.
whew.
I
mean,
think that hurt him a little bit.
Yeah.
Watching, and I'm sure it hurt him personally, but like his draft stock for sure.
Oh,
had
yeah.
a little bit because I was, he's been linked to the Steelers a little bit, talking about certain things, and I watched that game. I don't watch a lot of Bama games, but I was watching it because I wanted to see. I think I turned it on because it was. That's a game that went down to like the last drive, right? And like who are you guys?
That
playing?
was last year, Michigan, where the snap was pretty rough, and he ran straight up the middle. That was the Rose Bowl.
Okay. Who did you guys play in the
This year
last
was
game?
our bowl game against Michigan.
Okay.
There were 3 turnovers and like 4 downs.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kept.
and he just couldn't get over.
Yeah,
But
and he honestly,
bad
he kind of was always a little bit like that. Like if he could complete one quick, have a nice little run, you were like, okay, dude's in a rhythm. But some games it was like just couldn't get the offense going.
like my thought is like, do you as a Bama fan, do you then follow the Bama guys in the NFL and root for them there, or is it kind of like once they go, it's like, oh, we're like Jalen Hurts, right? He won the Super Bowl, Bama guy.
Yeah,
Is that like I'm rooting for him?
That
or
gives
it
me
helps?
more stock in the NFL.
Yeah, I gotcha.
As someone who's not a pro, that was crazy, man. That Tua, Jalen, when Bama had Jalen as a junior, he was benched in the national championship, and Tua threw a touchdown to Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last touchdown in that Super Bowl game was Jalen to Devontae. And I was like, man, God is crazy. I mean, I was just like,
that's crazy.
I got so, and it's almost identical.
Yeah.
Devontae was like a little more mid, like to the post, but I was like,
Same side of the field, right? It was left side.
Yes.
Against, yeah.
Kind of same distance
Football
where you're
judges,
like,
man.
dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy. You're just like,
Yeah.
pretty
that's-
wild. But yeah, it's fun to turn, when you watch those kids in college and they produce in the pro, and I don't know, that's kind of neat. Derrick Henry, it was fun.
I had one of your guys, Najee Harris.
Najee, yeah, he's
Pittsburgh.
a beast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big dude. He's probably somewhere different this year, but Yeah, so it's funny that when he came, I love to talk to him because I'm like, you basically played for a semi-pro team.
Yeah.
In Alabama. Like, what's that like? Now you're in the NFL and but it's funny to hear that some of those programs, come from a small school.
Yeah.
Those programs are just different.
They're crazy.
It's unbelievable.
I know.
It's unbelievable. We talked about your family. You've got a big family.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of kids.
6, yeah.
Man,
6 kiddos, man. Yeah. It was crazy.
Ranging from like
my oldest
20?
is 19.
19.
Yeah, she'll be holy cow, dude. She is 19. I will have a 20-year-old kid in December. That just hit me in the nads. Dude, that's crazy. And my youngest is 9. I think I've been so focused on the last one about to be 10 that I haven't really thought like.
Is 10 a bigger deal than 20?
No. 20.
But I'm saying that's a
the
double
last
digits. 20. Those are
the
big
last
numbers.
one being out of 10 is a big deal. But I don't know, man. It's just crazy to be like, wow, I had a 20-year-old. Because I met Lainey when I was 16, like ish. And so I'm kind of looking at my kids like, they're that age when this all kind of started. But yeah, Leela is amazing. She's in cosmetology school right down the road. So excited.
Nice.
I want to trick them all into staying around, but I tell them that. I'm like, hey.
I think every dad does that.
I'm like, just so you know, I'm trying to manipulate you. And if you're cool with it, just go with it. I'll do anything. Just hang around.
You know that house down the street from us? It is so amazing.
I've done it. I'm already like, hey, that was for sale.
Expand your real estate portfolio.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, why are you buying all these houses? Well, I got 6 of them.
So, yeah. But my 3 boys are 17, 15 and 13. That's Chapel, Baylor, and Beckett. They're awesome. Chapel's kind of a gamer kid, loves to draw, incredible artist. He illustrates books and weird stuff that I could never, ever do. And Baylor's an athlete and a drummer. And just that's everything to him. And then Beckett is he's into horses, and I'm scared of horses, but it's cool. Like we get down, we go to the farm, do the horse thing, and then Loxley and Everly are basically like twins. But man, half of them kind of know Jesus, have kind of done the thing, asked him into their hearts, and given their lives to Christ. The bottom half is just still kind of whatever, just learn it,
Well, it's cool. It seems like each one of them kind of has their own thing.
They do. And I don't know. I don't know if like somebody gave me this advice, but I'm annoyingly like, if they're into something, I am too. Like, I am, yeah, you're probably like that as a dad. If they're horseback, I just go and I'm scared, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm here. It smells bad, but let's do the horse thing.
Me and my daughter do the horse thing.
Do you? Yeah. We could talk about that. Yeah.
I love that. You had I just was talking about it earlier. You had because you're talking about like doing different things. You had a line in a song. What's the song? Like the one about your son.
The ball player. Yeah.
And the one line hit me, and I'll probably screw it up. But it was something about when I'm in the car. I wish I took my coach hat off.
Oh God, yeah. That you give me goosebumps just saying that because a lot of.
I wish I had heard that. Or like I need that earlier.
Me too, bro. Me too, 100%. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people see me now, but I haven't always like. I wasn't a family guy, 10 years ago. COVID changed that. The Lord changed that. But yeah, man, there's a line in that song that says, son, I'm sorry for them long rides home when you couldn't buy a hit. Probably should have took my coach hat off and just let you be a kid. Because you just, you tie your ego up into your kid's performance and you just bleed all this insecurity in their life by how they can produce, for you as a little ornament on your tree. And I would advise anybody that doesn't help you with your relationship nor their future, just security in life or their identity. So yeah, I took me a lot of mistakes to find, for that to appear in a song.
I think I do it when I'm with mine. doing that on the way home or whatever. It's, as I was thinking about that, I'm like, why? Like, why? And I feel like I'm doing it to, in my mind, help them.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm trying to help y'all so that next time you'll be ready.
Right.
Next time you'll be prepared. And it's like, how fast, like my kids, when they would get in the car, because they all do something, like my oldest one golfs and plays basketball, and the younger one, my daughter does volleyball and softball, and my younger one does everything else, sports wise. And it's like they get in the car and you can tell they're like down, or walking to the car, I should say, they're down about something. Maybe they didn't perform, they lost. And then you're like, oh, it's okay. Like, pick your head up. You're supporting them. And then you get in the car, and then it's like, okay, how can I help them so they don't feel that again?
Right.
But they've already moved on.
Yeah.
Like they're over it.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I'll be like, hey, listen, next time when this happens, you'll be able to do this. And they're like, what's for dinner? Like, what we doing for dinner? And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I'm trying to help you. And then you're trying to bring it back. And I'm like, they've already they've forgotten about it. Why am I not forgetting about it?
Yeah. Move on, Dad.
It is. It's move on, Dad. And I've seen it too. I'm sure you have with kids. You parents are living through their kids,
totally.
Right? Especially if their kid is halfway decent.
Right.
It's like we're going to the pros.
Right.
No, you're probably not.
Right.
Like the chances are slim.
Right.
Like, incredibly slim. Like I remember my oldest, when he was younger, when he did like to play football, he doesn't play football anymore, which I love. He was like, I'm like, what do you think you want to do when you get older? He's like, I'm gonna go play pro football.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, what else?
Right. Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen, pal. What else? He goes, well, if I can't do that, I'll probably go play pro golf. I'm like, oh, okay. What else? Next. I'm not trying to kill your dreams, but we need to have other thoughts. And I'll help support you, whatever. But it was just like, no, I'm going pro in something.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude. I'll support you, whatever I got. For you, however I can help you. But it's funny like that how now you see some of these parents that are like, oh no, we're going pro.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
You don't want to like. I don't know about you, but I have a heart. I've probably erred now on the side of. I mean, I don't know if you can err on the side of not say anything, but I hope I won't look back and go, oh man, I should have encouraged you to try harder or learn this. Because if like I don't ever want them to look back and go, oh, I wish somebody would have made me not quit that thing, or but then I also think of my own life, and I feel like there's a time where if you want to do something, nothing can deter. Like you just decide, and I don't know what it is, but I see that in my kids as they've gotten older, they wake up and it's just like they're just gonna do this. Like they're not asking anymore. One time my son broke my heart. I think I said something good after the game, which was funny. Like, I just need to be quiet. But I said something good, and he was like, is there a but coming? And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm sorry you expect
that.
I'm like a salesman. I'm like, hey, you did this really good?
Yeah.
But, and like you, my thought process is like, it's fun to be a badass, right? You can be even better ass if you, do this. And
but what do they hear?
Right.
That's tough.
Yeah. All they hear is I didn't do good enough for you, today. So they're bummed. And so I just kind of shut up now. And I've had fun coaching them because that's like, I can do that. I'm the coach. Yeah. That's my job there. And I can do it to other kids. But when we get in the car.
Did you find that? Because I have helped coach.
Yeah.
I'm a big, like, I don't want to be the coach.
Okay.
I want to coach at home. Like, if you want to come to me when we get home and ask me for, hey, Dad, what do you about this?
Yeah.
Things like that. I'll be at home coach. I don't want to be that coach that's like the head coach of the team.
Yeah.
I helped out in basketball with my oldest because the head coach kind of was asking for I'm like, yeah, sure, I'd love to help you out. Younger dude, just volunteering his time. Like, I'll help you out, dude.
Right.
Like, whatever. And I appreciated him and his hard work and what he did. And I think sometimes, I guess I'm just curious as a coach, like I tried to walk a real fine line of not treating my son different.
Oh yeah.
But not in like I was not to be down on him too hard.
Yeah.
I would never I would never be too
just
good, like, too good to him, like, oh, I'm treating my son special. Like he's getting all this special privilege. It was more like he said to me one time, like, I said to my wife, like, Dad was harder on me than everyone else.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dang, I'm sorry. Like I did it. I told him, I'm like, dude, I apologize. I knew I was.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was doing it so that other kids didn't think I was treating you more special. But it ends up backfiring and you feel knocked down too low. And it wasn't meant to bring you down. It was meant to not make the other kids be like, man, Ben, Coach Ben's treating Benjamin like this,
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, okay, I got to be more positive at practice to him.
Interesting.
So it's like a fine line to walk between like not giving your kids special privilege and, because no one wants to be on a team or whatever with the coach's son. I mean, I was that. I was a junior in high school,
right,
playing wide receiver because the coach's son was a year older than me playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And everybody in their brother, mother, sister, father knew that it was
wrong.
The dude. But you know what? We just go play.
Yeah.
And so you never want to be that dad that puts their kid out there and the parents are up there like,
yeah.
Why is this, so I don't know if you find out.
I made the same mistake. I mean, I would say if Baylor or Chapel were here, they'd be like, yeah, Dad is, I mean, he rides me, on in practice. And yeah, I mean, I also see them as like, probably have too high expectations of them to like set the tone. Like, do the thing the team's supposed to be. Like, be a leader. Mm-hmm. Like when I say, get water and then run back to the huddle, just do it. And they all will. And I need you to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I love it. And I think it's just, we're all learning together. And it's good that your son could just say that to you. That's cool. I mean, my kids will be like, hey, did you have a bad day? Like at work, And I'm like, dude, thanks for asking. Cause I did. And that's where all this,
I needed that.
That's why I walked into practice like a drill sergeant, today is.
And the worst is when you had a great day. Like,
oh man,
really? We still had a great day. I didn't realize.
We still running sprints in the parking lot.
No, I'm just that terrible. Yeah.
That coaching I'd be happy not to do it anymore. Again, I'm the guy who wants to sit up. Like, I'm the quiet. Like, my dad, when I played sports, he sat on like the visitor side, up in the corner. He wasn't the rah-rah guy. Yeah. I always knew where he was. And I want to be that guy that's not around all the crowd because for multiple reasons. But I want to also I want to sit with my wife, but my wife is the yeller. And so she's drawing a lot of attention. Love you, sweetie. Love you so much. But she's the one doing the hollering and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because I have
whose mom is, I understand. Okay.
Who's doing all the hollering?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
I mean, this was my first year coaching, and it's a dream of mine. I mean, I could see myself, no lie, like aiming to be a college coach at some point. Like I love it. I mean, eat, sleep, breathe it. Like, spent my life this fall on Instagram looking up plays, trying to figure out how to help kids and design the right offenses. We go 0-8 though. So, with all that preparation.
Gotta start somewhere, man.
We struggle. But it was a great experience for me. Honestly, it just made me need the Lord. Cause it was like, it kind of made me.
I feel like I need Jesus when I'm coaching too.
Yeah, it made me
keep
just
me from hitting this kid.
Well, it made me evaluate like what hey God, what do you have for this in this for me and for my kids? And unfortunately, that's not just victories. It's sometimes it's like a kid just need to ride to practice all the time, and he just need to be on a team. Yeah. One kid started out, was literally one of my worst players and started the last game. One of the most gratifying things I've ever seen. A couple kids quit, and I felt so, I would lay awake in bed and be like, what did I do? Did I not do the right thing? And will maybe they'll learn, from leaving this team. Maybe I quit a couple things prematurely as a kid and regretted it. Maybe this is their thing in life. But I don't know. It made me so grateful for sports and what it teaches us and what teams are made of. It really did. It kind of rekindled this like love for just what sports has to offer. Not just the games. You know what I mean?
No. I love the opportunity to like. We had a coach that was a coach and some parents that were very vocal towards officiating.
Yeah. Oh.
And so then you get the kids start doing it, right? The kids are like, "What kind of call is that?" And I was the bench coach, like I was the assistant. And so I remember at one point, like I was like, "Hey guys, like we don't do that."
Yeah.
Like you don't. And they kind of were complaining, like they kind of kept doing it a little more. And so after the game, I told our head coach kind of like what was going on. I say, "Listen, I'll be the bad guy. You don't have to be the bad guy." But to me, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I said, we're gonna at practice, we're gonna make them run.
Yeah.
And every time that they complain to an official, I'm gonna keep a tally, and they're gonna run a down back, whatever it is.
Right.
And you know how many weeks it took us to stop? 1 week. 1 week.
Yeah.
And like to me, but that's what it's about. Like they're watching these role models, these grown-ups, in the way that they're behaving towards adult figures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, guys, we're not doing that. Let your coach, if he wants to complain to officiating, let your coach do that.
Right.
But having that moment with the kids, we had another kid that was a really good player on our team, probably the best player, and he knew it. And he was kind of taking some leadership roles, like being vocal. But I felt like the way he was doing it was almost tearing his teammates down.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, you got it. And so I pulled him aside one day and hey, listen, you are a great basketball player. You're a great leader for this team. But something that I've learned in my years of playing in the NFL is there's ways to lead kids. And I'm not asking you to be a leader of men because you're a young man.
Yeah.
But what there's ways to talk to guys.
Yeah.
Think about that when you go to lead these guys.
Yeah.
How to speak to guys and how to encourage and don't tear guys down because you wouldn't want to be torn down. You want to be lifted up. And so to have those opportunities, I really loved that. Like those little nuances of practice, like drawing up the X's and O's and teaching a kid how to hit a step back jump or something, like that's cool. But to me, the other stuff will always trump the winning and losing and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the beauty of coaching is you have the most interesting perspective of all. I mean, you see a mom and dad's attitude trickle down to their kid and its effect on his teammates. You see the face, a mom walks by and makes it you when their kid maybe didn't play as much as they really wanted to see him play on a Saturday, but you just have to shake it off, and be like, no, I think I'm doing what's best for the kid by doing what's best for the team.
Right.
And I mean, I love it. I just love all the angles. I think being a coach made me a better dad because I honestly wanted to coach I wanted to call some of my son's past coaches and be like, hey man, my bad. Like I remember that tournament, when I kind of lost it that day. I'm sorry. I never seen it. From the dugout. I just, because you're right. Once a dad does something, it's over. I mean, they just taught every kid on the team to throw a chair. And it's hard to go backwards. Once that's happening.
Yeah.
Then you feel like you're kind of coaching parents, and you're like, what am I, a marital counselor now?
Well, your heart for it, dude, is I think the exact person that should be coaching, man. Because we would always say, like, you have to separate the what and the how, and the how. That what you should be good.
Yeah,
you should do all the things you're talking about. Why you love sport, but how you do it is what matters. How 100%. You do is that's how you build into a young man or woman. And that's how they'll remember you. That's why they invite you back. That's why the how is like the most significant thing. That when you showed up, did they almost forget what you did? Because how you did it was so great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's really cool to hear. Because I have littles.
Yeah.
I'm in the little stage. So
Get ready.
I'm trying to like influence them all to be artists. Right now it sounds like they're going to be part of the Paw Patrol. So I don't know. I don't know how you coach that out.
Dream big.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah,
but,
it's lucrative.
Yeah. Because I'm like, if I can make them artists, if they that'd be great. But if they do sports, I'm dropping them off at Uncle Ben's house. I'm like, you figure this out, bud.
Dude, letting your kid, man, just letting them be is like, it's the scariest thing. Yeah. But I think it's so good for them,
because your kids have, like, it seems like they're all doing kind of different things.
Yeah.
Was there ever, like, did you want them not to do anything? I know you said that, like, they're going to do it. I'm going to jump in with you. Like, did any of the kids come like, I want to be a singer-songwriter? Would you be like, you should try this?
It's probably like,
I was ecstatic when my boys don't want to play football anymore.
Didn't want to?
He played football 1 year, got absolutely destroyed. He was like, I don't want to play anymore. And I'm like, cool. Like, I love it. If you want to play, I'll encourage you to do it. But you don't want to, I'm like, yes.
You know, I'll say this, man. I doubt there's many people who have failed more than me. I mean, I have, dude. I've been cut from stuff. You know, I was cut from college baseball team. I was cut from college basketball team. You know, I've been dropped by 2 labels. I've been dropped by pub companies. I've been fired, you know, from jobs. And how do I say this? Like, I'm so grateful that failure is just like, whatever, man. Like, okay, like I'll get up tomorrow, you know, and I can see my kids, they're all different, but I don't like when they're afraid to suck. Yeah. And so I'd like to get them to there, you know, so that when whatever they want to do. But my life's been crazy, man. I mean, we chased a pretty elusive dream, and I don't if they want to be a musician, I'm not going to pull strings.
You're right.
I'll be on the front freaking row.
Of course.
You know, whatever.
But is
they
there
do.
a little part of you
oh yeah. The part of me wants to be like, it's not as great as it seems, bro. You know, but also I'm like, it is when you're that age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm 45, so the world's getting a little dimmer, you know, with each year. You're just like, whatever. But I just, whatever they do, my greatest fear is for it to be my fault. So I don't really ever tell them, like, you could do this. Because when it does suck, I don't want to be the one to blame. I just want to be like, well, you walk down that road, bro. Yeah. You know, I didn't tell you to try to go pro. You know what I mean? Like,
how do you balance that with seeing something in them that you want to encourage? Like, man, I see you have an interest in this. I mean, like, listen, get down how you get down, but like, you really have a really creative eye. So maybe that's the thing. Like, how do you balance that?
I probably don't. It's probably like, well, wham.
Okay, so cool. You know? Same.
Yeah, no, it's like, I'll just for example, like, my son Chapel, he's just gifted artistically. I mean, you could be like, hey, draw this, and he just whips it up on his phone or iPad, you know. And the man in me wants to go, hey, it's pretty lucrative if you do it this way, or if you do this, or maybe if you post this, or try it, you know. And then, but then I'm also like, he'll figure it out. Yeah, you know, he'll find his way. Same with Baylor. I have a son who. I don't know if I've ever told him, because it really doesn't matter what I think, but no offense to my drummer, he could probably take his place right now, you know, but my drummer taught him how, you know, he kind of created a monster, but I'm going to try to just let, you know, he'll have to figure that out. But I think that's kind of how I balance. I just try to be like, dude, you're awesome, which sometimes I've read that they you can like overpray. You know, I'm like, hey, you're working hard, you're good. I try to just not I don't want them to be like, oh, I play drum, Dad likes me now. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely don't want that. Yeah. Because I feel like I maybe did that growing up. You know, I had 3 older brothers that were great athletes, and I kind of look back and I'm like, is that why I was like trying to do the sport thing? Like,
dude, that's a real thing. I was talking to, that's so wild. It just came up because I was talking to somebody about that earlier, because I did music all my life growing up. My early 20s and, you know, stage performing, but my biological father was a musician. And then I broke down with my, I don't know, probably 7 years ago now. Like when I was touring and I'd come back from a tour, and I was like, spent, and we're talking about where we're going in life, and I just broke down crying. I'm like, do I even is this my dream? Or was I trying to get Dad to say, hey, I'm proud of you, Spence? Yeah. Because I'm little brother, you know, our dad left when I was young. So I'm like, no, I love music. Yeah. I'm an artist by nature, but I'm like, I could have done anything. Like, I love acting. I love speaking. I love, like, stage performance is really nice. But I picked that up a guitar. I heard Nirvana. I'm like, I heard Michael Jackson. I'm like, I'll never be able to do that. I heard Nirvana. I'm like, that feels the same. I can do that. But I can do that. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, let's do that. But it's a weird thing to acknowledge that in you as a grown fool. You're like, Oh, dude, is my thing?
Yeah.
Or is this not?
One of my older brothers coached me a lot, and I think a lot of it was like, between him and dad, I was like, I just want to fit in.
Yeah,
I just want to, I want to succeed,
Yeah. Well, I was always in my older brother's shadow too. Like my older brother was like that. And then when I picked up a guitar, when we were playing all of a sudden, like, is that Spence? I'm like, oh, yeah?
Yeah,
You like
yeah.
this? You like this?
Yeah. You're like, finally, an identity.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
I get that.
It's a weird thing, man. And I haven't experienced, it's really cool to hear that from a parent that's been in the game a little bit, because I haven't experienced that in my daughters. My daughters are just
that's good.
I'm in the honeymoon stage of parenting, right?
Yeah.
Of like I walk in the door. What is that Luke Combs song? Front Door Famous. I'm still front door.
Yeah.
Famous. Yeah. I'm still cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's nice. Like,
you don't have to not be, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep, man. That's awesome.
This is the internet's deepest podcast.
Oh, let's go.
That's what people are saying.
Let's go.
Football in this.
I didn't. I was not expecting to go here, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, you know what's funny about
keep
it?
getting
what's
insight.
and I don't know it's funny, but like we have a lot of fun. This is a very lighthearted show. It's pretty indicative of Ben and I's relationship, but so is this conversation.
Yeah.
And when typically we're like, oh, well, we're talking about sports, so why talk about like existential crises?
Yeah.
But this is not foreign to what we do at all.
This is it. We sit and have this conversation on a weekly basis in the basement.
Yeah.
We just didn't think people would care to hear this part of our conversation. They want to hear the sports stuff.
I think
but
it's
this
important,
is,
man. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like my kids can fake me out where I'm like, oh, I thought you loved that. Like I thought you ate, slept, and breathed baseball. And my son's like, I mean, it was all right. And I'm like, well, I guess you're just you're one of those robot, like you're a coach's dream. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just don't want to drop the ball, literally. And that's not a fun way to play. I remember my daughter, she quit gymnastics and she literally had nightmares after it that she had gymnastics. And I was like, okay, that's unhealthy. Like, you didn't need, and honestly, that wasn't even me and my wife, not to like shift the blame off of us. We just were doing what parents did. Like I thought you'd put your daughter in gymnastics. If they keep going up, you keep going up. If they compete, they compete. If the coach comes and is like, I'd like your daughter to go to the next level, you're like, well, go to the next level. I
hate gymnastics. I'm always doing it. You love gymnastics. You do it all the time.
Right. I'm like, you're so good. So therefore you love it.
Yeah.
We had that with my oldest. He's a big golfer and he's really good. And I love to golf. Like that's something I just love to golf. And so we do it together a lot. It's kind of one thing we do together, which is great. And my wife and I have walked this line and we have sat him down and I'm like, I've talked to my parents. Like, I'm like, is he only doing it because he knows that I love doing it with him and that he knows that I love that he's doing it? Man. Or does he really, really love it? And he tells us all the time, no, I really do it. And I mean, he's down, like I'll wake up in the morning sometimes and I hear him downstairs with the golf ball. So I'm like, no one does that. They're trying to impress dad. But I've had to have that conversation with my wife. I'm like, you talk to him. Because if I ask him, he's going to say, Dad, I love it. I want to do it all the time. I want to be great. I'm like, you talk to him and see. And she's like, well, he's telling me the same thing. I'll be like, I'll talk to my parents. Like, hey, will y'all Spence? Talk to him. See if he's like anything. Like, because you don't, that's such a fear that he's going to only do it because he knows that I want him to do it. And that, again, it's not my sport. It's not football or something like that. But it's still, he knows how much. Like I love watching him play golf. It's like poetry. Like he is so good at what he does. And so I love watching it. And I have to like kind of catch myself trying not to fanboy him too much where then he's like, oh, dad loves when
he's AI. He learned like dad.
So that's my.
But that's interesting to me too, man. Cause it just got me thinking, I'm almost rebuttaling in my mind. Is that a bad thing?
I can answer this. It's not.
Right.
And here's the thing. As long as you're aware of this and you're constantly you're admitting like you could do something wrong as a dad and you're trying to converse and communicate like really I didn't communicate like that with my dad. And that's one of those stories where if he goes on and just freaking dominate. You know, does the thing, make the golf dream comes true. That's one of those stories, like where he goes, man, my dad got me into this. We did this together, and I love it. You know, and it's a gratitude thing. I mean, that's how I am with my father. We didn't get along great, but he loved music, and I didn't love music just for him, but it's his fault. You know what I mean? In a good way.
Right.
Like, I am so grateful.
Right.
You know?
And that's my thought with it is like, I don't think there's necessarily something inherently bad of wanting to make your dad proud.
Right.
Right. And then if that's how you get access to stuff because you're young and you're like, oh, I didn't know about this, but I love my dad. And you know, there's attention and affection there from there. And then from that, I'm actually able to parlay that into his love, into my own love. Dude, thanks, Pops. But that's an interesting.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
What in the world?
Yeah, that's some.
This is Pittsburgh's favorite chef.
So this is Pittsburgh's favorite chef. He's the reason that we have a show. And this would be our time that we would start talking about family.
Yeah, this is when we would start that conversation.
Okay, well,
this is the family dinner. We're gonna transition from parenting, I think, a little bit to a little bit of your story. I'd love to ask some questions about it. But Evan,
yes,
help us out, brother. What do we have?
All right, the tacos. That is a pork taco with a smoky pepper jack queso and pickled onions, jalapenos, and peppers on top.
Gosh.
The two closest to you, Ben, the two tacos, those ones are steak for Spence over here.
Oh, these two.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then those are Bourbon Street steak bites.
Come on.
See what you did there, bro.
I had to.
That doesn't look like Applebee's. It's a little bit fresher.
Yeah. a little
pressure.
Still kind of moving, but
Bro.
and then I made some cowboy beans, but instead of ground pork, I put ground bison in it.
Oh.
So just a little.
Now, just remind me, Evan, those bites.
The bites, yeah. Underneath is a seared potato, like a piece of potato. I seared it in butter, and then right underneath there is a little bit of Boursin cheese, or you can use like cream cheese. I know, like I'm giving the recipe out. I'm sorry. I'm just
He's nervous.
I'm nervous now.
First time.
I've never done this before. And on top is a portobello mushroom sauteed in garlic butter.
That seems like that would not be on the half price apps, maybe like the double price apps.
Oh, yeah.
No half price apps here.
Yeah, exactly.
We're full price.
It looks amazing, man.
Well, enjoy, guys.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah,
Appreciate it very much.
I'm going to grab one of these.
You know when you
I'll
eat
get to
those, you
What's
don't
that?
take a bite.
Just eat the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you've had these before?
Well, I've had something like that before.
Okay.
And then you can take a bite while I talk to you about a question.
Go bring it on. I'm loving this, by the way.
This has been amazing. This is one of the ones that I'm like, how do we get everybody in the world to watch us?
Yeah.
Because this is.
We need a TikTok dance. That's what we need.
Evan, are you going to do it?
Evan's going to do it.
Come do a dance, Evan.
Give the people what they want.
The whipped cream bar. You guys couldn't see Evan. He's over there.
I'm doing that.
I'll show it.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Come on. Dude, this is perfect.
This is amazing.
Dude,
this is first and foremost.
This Bourbon Street steak thing.
There you go.
Is it the whole I didn't think the whole body moved. I thought it was just the arms.
Just the arms?
What if this?
Is it just the arms?
It's up to you, man.
Walker,
What kind of whipped
Contagion,
cream do you want?
Stand in the center here so we can.
I will not.
Come on. The dance floor.
I will not.
Dude, this is nuts.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Better than my dancing.
I don't know.
That
That's
needs to be
so
said.
good. I like the whole bite thing. It's like sushi, but not.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like sushi for
Beans
Rip
are really good.
from Yellowstone. Like if Rip was going to eat sushi, it'd be that.
This is what Rip would eat.
Yeah.
Raw meat.
Bison.
Yeah, it's really good, actually.
So typically we would ask a super existential question, so the guest would have to talk while we got to eat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Go for it.
Yeah.
No, I would love to get in. I'm going to go like crazy deep, but one of the reasons
We're
that
going deep.
not reasons, I guess that's the wrong word to say. One of the ways that we connected, obviously, as we said here before, was Bart's 50th birthday. Mm-hmm. Bart and you have a connection, obviously, and maybe does it go before the Craig song? Or is that like...
You know, the reason, that's a cool story. I mean, the reason I know Bart is because over COVID, I became a Christian the fall before COVID. So like August before the March the world shut down or whatever. And my publishing company didn't really know, what to do with me, because I was kind of learning, like, what's this mean, for my life, like as a entertainer, singer, songwriter, like, is that it? Like, honestly, I was like, do I go to seminary? I was like, I have no idea what to do, now as a believer. And I was encouraged by some really good friends just to chill, like do the same thing, whatever. And a publisher guy, a guy where I write songs, set me up to write with Bart.
Okay.
And I walked in here. I actually walked in this building, and I walked in, and Bart and a producer, I forget who was here, but they both had tears in their eyes because they had listened to the song Craig, which was kind of like, I actually wrote that song as a non-believer. Like I was like an atheist when I wrote that song. So
really?
I know, kind of crazy. Another wild thing about that song, which we can like talk about, but the original version of that is 3 minutes and 16 seconds long, which, John 3:16 thing, which is crazy. Like you can't, you don't do that on purpose. But yeah, I mean, if you notice, that song doesn't have the name Jesus in there. And I intentionally did that because I was like, man, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea that I'm some Christian artist, when I wrote that song, because I was not a believer. But yeah, I met Bart, and they had just listened to that song. And we were actually supposed to write that day. And when I met Bart, I was a believer. And long story short, instead of writing a song, we just talked all day long. And I kind of shared my testimony and my story and where I was, career life. And this was before Fancy Like and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, I was like, well, you want to remake the song Craig? Like, you want to just redo it again and you can sing on the hook, and I'll just put it on, whatever project. Because he was just highly appreciative of the song. And he was like, he said things like, this is what Christian music should say, like this part of everyone's story, So, yeah.
Well, and those of you that don't know, go listen to the song. You don't have to get into all the details, but go check out the song Craig. It's an unbelievable story.
Yeah.
It's almost is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the truth behind it. Why didn't it not go to country, like Christian music?
At first it was on an album. And I wasn't a Christian artist, so there wasn't nobody pushing that to Christian music or Christian radio. And then with the Bart thing, I think other songs off of my album swallowed up kind of the country space. And so, I think putting like AA out with Craig might have been a lot for my label to handle. But honestly, a lot of that is that's business stuff that I don't really interfere with.
Dude, I love those. So are those two on the same album?
Yeah. So Fancy Like, Craig, You Girl, AA, Drinking Song, like that was one album.
I love that exists together, man. Because and I've had this conversation. We had this conversation yesterday, man. And I had this conversation with Bart off camera. And I love this conversation because as a Christian, again, I got saved at 19. Again, was doing music since I could, play the 4 chords and Smells Like Teen Spirit. But when I got saved, you had that same dilemma. And I think a lot of Christian artists, not like Christian musicians, but artists who surrender unto Jesus are like, okay, we got shown what our gift was, not by the church, or somebody who understands that it's a God-given gift.
Yeah.
So now how do I do this? And so you try to replicate things. And I think a lot of times in Christian art, I'll use music as a specific example because you're here. You leave out the depth of the human being that God saved. God saved the whole human. And we talk about it very narrowly. And I understand, like at 3:30, you need to get it on a 3:30, write a radio hit. I understand that. But when it exists in totality, God gets all of his glory. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you're trying to glorify God, like it's not like a, hey, before, after, it's not a cardboard testimony as powerful as those can be. It's a, hey man, I've been saved since 19, stumbled forward for the first couple years, still need it. Still questioning, still got,
right.
If you're afraid to put that into the art space,
I
think you lose out on a lot of what God's done in your life.
100%. 100%. And God's doing just as much
So I say that
today.
to say thank you, my brother.
Oh man,
for being obedient to just get it in, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like,
no, I mean, the song Craig, it's like God gave me like a layup of a story to tell, which is crazy. I mean, honestly, I should just read the lyrics to the song, but Craig, he was a bivocational pastor when I met him. Dude never even preached the gospel. He just preached the gospel with his love, like the way he treated me, the way he loved on me, my family. He fed us. I mean, he showed up at my shows. Obviously gave us a car, which the song is about. But the guy, I'm not like super lovey-dovey dude, but I would leave his house some nights, and I'd be hammered, but I would leave his house and look at my wife and go, why does this dude love us so much? Like, he's got to be, I would make jokes and be like, he's got to be weird. Like, this is something weird, like they're trying to swing with us or something. It's not funny, but like, that's really what, sadly.
You've never been exposed to that.
Never.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this dude's problem? Like, what's the deal? Like, why hasn't he gone away yet? Like, why? And I was like, honestly, when I talk about him and our relationship at that time, I wasn't like, he had no reason to get to know it. Like, I didn't have a promising future. I'm alcoholic. Every time I turn around, we're pregnant. I'm working at Costco. I mean, I'm not like,
you had to have good intentions. And he was in it for like, man, this dude's got a hit.
Yeah. Right, no. Yeah. It wasn't like, let me buddy with this guy.
Yeah.
He can help my reputation in some way, And, but again, he never like, it's just like the whole know we were Christians by our love. I just knew the dude by the song, it's just like, hey, I don't really know about Jesus, but this dude might actually, that's what the song says. It's like, he might actually know a dude named Jesus, and
I love, so
yeah,
we were talking a little bit before this. Literally my story. My guy's name is Parker.
Oh, Parker. So you have a Craig, basically. Yeah.
And,
I have a Parker.
But God be doing that, bro.
Yeah.
God be doing because I knew about Jesus. I was raised in a Christian private school up until middle school, and then I was like, well, I get to make my own choices. And I found all the bad ones, but in that you knew what you heard, and then you saw it. And I was like, hold up, you're doing the things you say.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing the things you say from this book.
I mean, it's good.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, and I saw his life, and I saw him deal with like really heavy stuff. I'm like, oh, if that's this,
right?
Explain that to me,
right?
And I love that, bro. First time you showed me, Craig, because I think Bart sent it over, and I teared up.
Bart. No, this is how we first heard about it. Bart was in my house after one of the Mercy, because they always, that's the whole thing.
Going through your cupboards?
Going through my cupboards. After they do the show, the Mercy Meet comes to Pittsburgh. They always come to my house after, and they'll stay there till 5 a.m. I mean, the sun's coming up, they're leaving.
That was awesome.
But we were sitting down there with Beal, with my Michigan, Ohio State guys. We're all sitting down there. And here comes Bart's Cybertruck. I can't even see the lights. Can
we please say that?
We
Bart
need
has a Cybertruck.
I thought that was yours, bro.
Oh no! Come on, get out of here. But anyway,
I was like,
we're
Ben's
sitting
an
down.
electric guy.
No way. We're sitting down in the in a little cigar wine room I have, right? And we're just sitting there having cigars, talking. Yeah. And he was like, I don't even know how it came up, but he was like, I got this song that I just did with a guy named Walker. And he goes, I'm doing like I did the small little hook on it, and y'all should listen to it. And it was on his phone, like super rough. Like y'all just did it, right? And it was like, and so we sat in there on his phone. He played like, he held his phone up and did like this, and we were like, play it again.
Yeah.
Like,
that was cool.
No, wait. Okay, I got that part. Played it. Like, it was just so, hey, Bart.
Hey.
What up, bro?
We're still filming.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt us. You want to come walk through? Okay.
Yeah, you sure? I know y'all love that.
And so that's kind of how we first heard about the song, was from him in the basement doing that. And so it was just like, are you kidding me? And then that's when we just, that's my kids, like my kids, when we get in the car, we have a playlist. It's like if they don't listen to what's on the radio, it's like, can you put our playlist on?
Nice.
And that's on our playlist. and they rock.
Getting some spins, baby.
I mean, my Benjamin will do like the little rap, like
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
like the
yeah.
whole thing. Like they love it, but they just absolutely love that song, and it was so cool. And obviously, you know, he
Yeah.
adds his little insight to it. But for those of you out there that don't know it, please go check the song out. And I know we talk about how much he meant to you in terms of like loving on you no matter
Yeah.
what, but like the dude, he gave him one of you. Like you have a big family. We've talked about the family.
Yeah.
You had a car that couldn't get the family around.
Yeah.
And because obviously when you have that many kids,
We had
only
a
certain
Honda
cars
Accord, yeah. And
could
we
get
were-
the kids
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
and
we-
so basically, like I'm not going to ruin the story, but because it's obviously out there, but Craig decides to like give them a minivan.
Yeah.
And it's not just like he didn't go buy one.
No, he's not wealthy by world standards
his own
at all.
car,
Him
right?
and his wife prayed about it, and they were like, we decided to gift you this minivan. And then he basically went to CarMax and probably bought something for like $2,000. You know what I mean? That's what he did. But yeah, he showed up at my son's baseball game, and man, it was one of the most humbling, embarrassing, but like weird experiences in my life. You know, nobody had ever like done something like that for me. It was almost confusing, you know. It kind of made me mad, but also I finally just took it. But man, I mean, Craig gave me the greatest gift, you know, you can give anyone. And I mean, he literally took my hand and put it in the hand of Christ. I mean, that's and he didn't do it in this orthodox, like, bring me to church, read me the stuff. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. He just, and the crazy thing
did it with
is,
love.
it's not perfection either. Like, if Craig got arrested tomorrow, I wouldn't be like, oh, that eliminates everything that you know what I mean? I'd just be like, you're human, just like me. And I was known and loved by Craig. Like, he knew Walker. He knew me before I knew Jesus. And so he knew the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? He knew the guy. But he wasn't like, ugh, get away. I don't want to get any of that on me. He was just like, how do I get
More people
near
like
to
that.
this? Yeah, it was
He
crazy.
didn't push you, he pulled you.
Right,
It
exactly.
is, and it is the gospel, man. You got to think like I didn't know the backstory about Craig.
Yeah.
I mean, to think about the love that he shared to you cost him something,
Yeah.
and he was never going to recoup it.
It's sacrifice.
He was ready to
Yeah.
never recoup it.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard. I'll say this as a Christian. I was going to say when I was 19, I'm 30, I'll be 35 this summer. I don't know how often I'm actually doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Just whether it be busyness. I think if push comes to shove.
Yeah.
And you have to like, hey, this is the moment.
Yeah.
And you remember, hey, this is what we do for sure, you know, but to that Craig story is so powerful. Like Ben's saying, please, if you haven't heard it, go check it out. Because for a lot of people, you're going to be telling their story too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because God still moves. He still moves like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is the gospel.
Well, you're going to listen to Craig and you're going to be like, wow, what a cool story. And then I would encourage you to go check out the book because there's just so many more of those. And you realize like the song is awesome. And it's super powerful. The first time I heard it, I think like it definitely gets you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, holy cow. And, but then I got into the book and it's like, wow, that's like the tip of the iceberg of one, your guys' relationship.
Yeah.
But his love for a guy that he didn't need to love on, chose to love on, not because you were going to be a star.
Right.
But because he wanted to show what it was like to be Jesus.
Yeah.
Be like Jesus and what Jesus did. And I think that's, again, I just encourage y'all to listen to the book, whatever you want to do. It's fun to listen to because their actual voices are in it, but it's super powerful in the sense that you get to hear more of that. I mean, the fact y'all are like neighbors.
We were, yeah.
I mean,
we
there's
lived
so many
together.
unique stories.
No, our story is incredible. Funny thing about the book is we started that. We started that together. It was kind of his idea. I started writing on it because he walked with us through the loss of a kid. We lost our 7th kid. And Craig, I was so mad. I was not a believer. I was so mad. I mean, I just want to fight everything and everything. I mean, almost jumped off the wagon, you know, with that stuff. But I mean, I'm talking about so mad. But I like, just to give you an example of how much I loved Craig and how much he loved me. I mean, he held our kid, you know. I mean, and there's nobody in my family was allowed near the hospital. I mean, that's how pissed I was at everything and everyone at that time. But him and his wife sat with us for hours and just passed Oakley around and cried and talked about how beautiful she was, and but we started that book, might have sold like one copy because my mom might have bought it. and then literally when we got to chapter 5, my dad died. And when we got to chapter 6, Fancy Light came out and just exploded. And then all of a sudden that book just like, actually it was kind of cool because then it was like, oh God, I get it. I'm like, oh, no wonder. Like you made the Applebee's thing and now I can go around and I can tell all these people about Jesus. I can get in front of 10,000 drunk people and be like, hey, you want to talk about Jesus for a second? No, and it's like, well, we're gonna, and,
too bad.
Yeah, and it's like, well, here's
the
this,
microphone.
and then you can hear a pin drop and I get goosebumps thinking about it because I'm not like, I'll be the worst preacher ever. But again, God just gave me this like, just talk about this, man. Just tell them about Craig. Just come from an honest perspective. Tell them who you were and who you are now, and sing this song. And it's crazy. I mean, it's
great.
been,
Your
been
test.
cool.
I mean, we've talked about this many times, and I take a lot of advice from you, but you've told me, and I'll make it the times wrong, but you always said have a 30-second testimony, a 60-second testimony.
Oh yeah,
a 1 minute, a 5. Like have those elevator ride testimonies, and that's what your story. I mean, you can give a 30-second, you can give us, an hour, like all that stuff, and that's I just, it's so cool to see you doing it, and using it and taking advantage of those guys that are at concerts drinking and don't want to hear about it and be like, well, you're going to hear it anyway.
Dude, God has a sense of humor,
one person.
man.
If one person catches it, that's good.
And man, I mean, it's so funny. I mean, I basically wrote my testimony before I did it, and then I hated Christians. I didn't want to ever, I was like, stupid, y'all are idiots. Yeah. And then one is my best friend in life, and it's like, man, isn't that funny, And meanwhile, my wife's just watching it all, and she's just seeing it all too, and she's.
Where was she on all that? Like, was she a Christian? Was she saved?
She was a believer. I mean, she's like all of us. She was an early, not like me, but she was a believer, and then her faith has grown and matured. Over the years. But I mean, honestly, we kind of both found the Lord. It's like she kind of found the Lord again. When with the whole Craig thing. But man, Craig was he's a part-time pastor about 12 minutes from my house now. We were hanging at McAllister's yesterday, and he's the greatest, man. I'm dying. I'm trying to get him. I'm literally begging him and his wife and their 2 kids that are still at home to move into our house. Just literally move over there. I'm like, why not, bro? 45. I mean, how much life we got left, man? How bad could it be?
Come on, man. Let's be
I
real.
got to meet Craig. Craig was awesome.
You met it, yeah.
I met him at your golf event that we won.
Oh,
we're the defending champions.
Bro.
Shout outs, Jeff, Chris, Chuck, and my son.
You guys.
You brought the 18?
We were so excited. Y'all were 21 under?
I think something like that, yeah.
Jeez, bro.
We were Benjamin carried us.
Was I 21
We were 15 coming in, and I was like, ain't nobody beating 15.
That's the 18. That squad.
That was crazy.
Well, Jammin' don't play.
You were
man.
20.
You were 20?
Bart, they didn't use any of your shots.
Bart, tell the truth. Did you use a shot?
No, I did use 2 shots.
Oh, you used your hybrid.
Yeah.
My hybrid.
I went closest to the pin.
With a hybrid on a 100-yard par 3.
It's called the Perfect Club, as seen on
The perfect club.
As seen on.
Y'all can't see.
It's
Bart,
adjustable.
Bart, was that the tournament, Bart, that you went and bought a driver at a garage sale right before you came?
Bart, just come take this microphone, dude. If you're getting
Yeah, Bart's joining
You
our
should've joined
show.
us, man.
yeah, what are you?
Oh my goodness. He's Bart.
Another one.
Yeah, help yourself. Have as much as you
Okay.
want. That's the best part about it. Wow. I don't even want this to end.
I know, dude. I was about to call him up. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, probably not gonna make it tonight. Just letting you know.
What happened?
Walker happened.
Walker happened. Yeah.
Well, Well, maybe we just got to do a part 2 sometime.
Hey, I'm in,
You
man.
got to come to Pittsburgh and do it in the basement.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Dude, I
do a
love
part
the
2 there.
Berg. Is that what the cool kids call it? I don't know.
Berg?
I just risked.
Ask-
I went for it.
Ask Evan. He's the resident Yinzer.
Evan, is it still cool to
I'm a
call it the
transplant.
Berg?
Oh,
Is that the thing?
As long as we get Evan's
Evan never
cosign.
go out of
I
style.
love Pittsburgh. I mean, that's
Bart is
Bart, if
yelling
you're
from the
gonna
other
talk- Bart, if
room.
you're
Bart's yelling in the other room.
Bart, we got 50,000 microphones in this place. Can you please come over and...
He didn't get a part 2. He's mad. Yours wasn't that I mean, I'm just joking.
I feel like Pittsburgh is very like blue collar, and it makes me feel like I would like really vibe. Like I feel like people like family.
I will say-
People work hard.
I will say this as somebody not from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The city, it's like you take or leave it. It gets beautiful in the summertime. The people make the place. The people
Yeah.
are the
People are
best.
great.
Yeah.
It's fun to be somewhere. I don't know if y'all feel this way, but that like really like where they are, like they're kind of proud. There's just places
Yeah.
where it gets obnoxious. Where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, Texas,
Texas.
it's not that good. Like Whataburger,
People from Texas,
whatever.
Whataburger
bro.
is not- yeah.
But like for me, Pittsburgh is like, no, we're from Pittsburgh. You know, I'm proud.
Proud
I'm
of it.
proud
Yeah.
to be there.
There's
And I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, well, we'd love to have you up there anytime you want to come up.
Let's
You can bring the
go.
whole family. We got a place for y'all to stay
Come on.
anytime. We got horses.
Oh,
Your son
Loxley
come up
would
and-
love that. Yeah, and so would
check
Beckett.
it out. So, again, it's hard to end this one. This is awesome, but we do
you.
have to wrap this thing up and get back to Pittsburgh.
And literally fly home tonight.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
You can do it.
yeah, we'll make it.
Thanks for the food,
Thank you
guys.
so much for being a part of
Oh,
this,
man.
man. This was
go.
really, really special. Again, check out everything that Walker does because it's awesome. It's funny. It's unique. It is special, and it's got an awesome message behind it. Check out Craig, and then the book. And then I know you've got a bazillion followers on social media. I don't have social media.
Dude, don't forget to check out Mercy Me's new single, "Oh Death." It's a smash.
That's right. What? How do you know about that song?
So Bart, he tried to give me the runaround. He was like,
Bart,
I was like, hey man, Bart, are y'all
Just come here.
looking for songs? And he was like, he's trying to find a nice way.
Listen, they're gonna love that sweatshirt. You might as well get in this.
oh yeah,
on.
dude, you wore that on purpose. Get over here.
Bart was trying
take
to.
Evans. Yeah.
You gotta stand in the.
Just sit on the edge of Ben's chair. It's fine.
Your brother did. Your brother sat on my lap.
you won't do
before.
it.
Today we're having a souffle.
So Bart was chef number 2.
Pudding.
That sounds.
I wrote a chorus to this song. I read this book by one of my favorite authors named Ray Ortland, and he was just talking about dying and just, that it's, we're going to dance on death's grave. That's just a stepping stone. That's something we don't fear, as believers. And so I wrote this chorus. And I don't know a lot of Christian artists. Bart's my guy. Poor Bart,
Process
man.
of elimination.
I looked through my
Tom, you
phone.
want the- oh, no.
Actually, you're in the B's, so you're high. You were like right there. And
Early in the alphabet.
I was like,
Before Brandon
Bart's
Lake.
the guy. He made me okay.
I'm A.
I don't know him, but I was like, man, I hate being the guy. But I was like, hey, man, gotta ask. And I said, Bart, y'all looking for songs, and he was trying to find a nice way to be like, dude, I don't want it, because they were. I
I
think
said we were full up.
they were
What's your
done.
letdown line? What's your?
I don't remember. I'd look at the text.
But he was still like, he probably blamed his label. He was like, nah, label said no more. I don't know.
Get out. It's a good
But no, he was cool. He was like, dude, send it. And so I did, and I think and he was surprised. He was like, I was like, why are you so shocked, man? But he was,
Bart? Why are you shocked?
What'd you do?
I was like, it was more like I was glad it was good, but it was just more work. Like, oh man, we got to make room for this. So I literally, the most disheartening part for me was I'd played all the songs for the label. They're like, cool. And then I played the demo of Walker singing the chorus, and they went, that's your next single. I was like, it's not even me singing. Like, I'm not even on this. And they're like, first single. I was like,
Snug it in.
Kind of hurts my feelings a little bit.
Got one past the goalie, baby.
Hope I don't ruin it when I sing it.
Dude, all odds.
Hey, can we go back to the original?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, right.
They're like, we don't like it anymore.
Like, ooh, it's going to be on the B side now.
Not even my voice.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, we love it.
But honestly, for a songwriter, man, that is the best. And honestly, I've been trying to. I would love to just write songs and stay home. I mean, if I could just get Bart to cut like 12, I'm good. But yeah, he
everything Bart touches.
The songs that he's written, it was really cool because I swear he was most excited about this song getting picked up. So
much, man.
And he's seen hits like crazy. And I was like, he was so pumped about it.
I'm jacked.
Well, that's cool. We're excited about that.
But they cut the snot out of it. It's a freaking smash, man. It's great. So yeah,
Mercy
be ready.
Me, Oh Death.
Oh, Death. Out now, everywhere you stream your music.
It is out now.
Out now.
But no, this was, how special is this with the Clemente sweatshirt on?
Yep.
He's had that sweatshirt since he was in middle school.
Yeah.
Still
That guy got Evan.
Got Evan laughing. We need one more mic. Get Evan in here.
Just get everybody.
This is special. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this again. Have a reunion. Football reunion show.
Yeah,
so
heck yeah.
But no, this was incredibly awesome. So thank you, Walker, for being a part of this, making time.
Thanks, man.
Do this. Tell the family.
Appreciate
thank you
bro.
for allowing us to steal you for a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
Bart, thank you again for the use of this amazing studio. This has been a lot of fun to be here.
You're welcome, Ben.
You know I got my ears in, man. That's so close.
You're so welcome, Ben. It was great
It sounds like you're in my soul.
You guys are always welcome.
Get out of here, man.
Oh, my goodness. Football and Family, check it out. We appreciate y'all. Check out all of his socials. He's going to tell all of his fans to check out this show. And I mean, I'm serious. Like, this is one that people need to see.
It used to be Cowers. That was my favorite one. This, I think,
Coach Cowers interview. We sat with him. It was funny.
I'm
it was
right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you, Bart.
Oh, and Evan. So Evan's
down
that
here
too.
washing dishes.
I'm right here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Spence. See that record button over there? Push it.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Oh, yeah. Face.